Hi everyone. So for our second lesson, we're going to be focusing on this learning target. I can determine the author's craft within a text. So that might sound sort of familiar when it comes to skills that we've talked about before. So author's craft is something that we've talked about with the other stories that we've read in our Into Reading books. So we're going to take a look at our anchor chart and really focus on what is author's craft. So, author's craft is the language and techniques a writer uses to make his or her writing interesting and to communicate ideas to the reader. So, today we're really going to focus on one aspect, and that's going to be language. So, I'm going to have you look down here. So when we're talking about language in terms of author's craft, we're talking about the vocabulary, precise nouns, sensory words, and vivid verbs that make the text more interesting. So here's a really great example of how language can help us really visualize what an author is talking about. Each kernel of the buttery popcorn crunched loudly in Selma's mouth. So that really helps us visualize what the popcorn is like. What does it taste like? What does it sound like? How does somebody feel as they're eating it? So the author can use specific words to really help us get a good idea of what they're talking about. So we're going to go back to the story that we started on Tuesday. Let's get creative. And you can pull out your Into Reading books and open them up to pages 16 and 17 and follow along this way. So right now we're going to focus on the storytelling section. And as I read this storytelling section, you're going to be listening for the word honored. And we're really going to think about why does the author choose that word in particular for this section. Storytelling. People have been using words creatively for many thousands of years. Storytelling began long before people invented writing. Back then, people passed stories along orally. The oldest known written story is a classic tale, the Epic of Gilgamesh, which pays tribute to an honored king. It was first written on clay tablets in the late 2nd or early 3rd millennium BCE. So let's go back to the sentence where we hear honored. The oldest known written story is a classic tale, the Epic of Gilgamesh, which pays tribute to an honored king. So right now, I want you to think about what does the word honored mean in that sentence? So if we think about it, if they're paying tribute to an honored king, that tells us that it's a story about a person who is well respected, that they deserve to be acknowledged for the deeds that they did in their life. So honored in this case probably means that they were a very well-liked and well-respected king. So we want to think about why an author chooses the words that they do. So what I'd like you to do right now is you're going to reread this article. And as you do, you're going to underline words that you think help you understand the text. So you're going to be looking for words that go along with the author's craft of language. What vocabulary or precise nouns, sensory words, or vivid verbs make the text more interesting? So you're going to reread this section and you're going to annotate in the sides where it says your notes, where you see the author's craft of language. So what are some sentences that you really thought helped you understand and really livened up the article? And then you're going to go to you're going to answer some questions using this Google form, which is all about the author's craft. So you'll have 3 questions to answer after you've annotated and you've reread the story. So it'll give you specific instructions where it says short answer text, that can be 1 or 2 sentences. The long answer text, that should be a paragraph that you're writing because you're going back and you're using specific examples to support your answer.